How are you, Kathleen?
Good.
Just 5 to win.
Yes. Yes, I have.
I was looking at my yard Saturday, thinking, looks pretty good, because I raked the week before. And then I thought Saturday, maybe I'd do a little bit more. And Sunday, I thought, I'm glad I didn't do more.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping that it keeps going past my front yard. Because we don't have any trees in our front or back. So I'm like,
Oh,
just
so you get some
keep
of
them
the debris.
moving. Just keep them moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is on YouTube again, so please make sure your microphones are on so the public can hear us if there's anybody watching.
All right, it's 5:29. Marilyn said she was going to come and heckle me, so I hope she's watching or something.
If I'd be more worried about seeing her here or not seeing her, Nelson. The unknown.
I'll probably get a text, Tristan. Like, oh, it's 5:30. Can we start?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I hereby call this meeting to order of the October 25th, 2022 City of North Platte Planning Commission to order. Roll call.
Davies.
Here.
Winder.
Here.
Matthews.
Here.
Bain.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Fudge. Jett.
Here.
Forbes.
Here.
And Whirl. Here. Okay, a quorum is present.
Okay. A current copy of the Open Meetings Act of Nebraska is posted at the back of the council chambers. Next, we need to approve the minutes of the special meeting held on September 26, 2022.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Clicker vote.
Clicker vote.
Where's my clicker?
Oh, he's gonna need his, I think.
Oh, just give me mine.
The mayor doesn't usually click, so.
All right, motion passes. Just a note, number 4 on the agenda is being pulled from the agenda for this evening. Number 3, public hearing to discuss and consider action on annexation of Lot 1, Lakeview Country Estates Second Subdivision, more particularly described as part of the southeast 1/4 of Section 36, Township 14 North, Range 31, west of the 6th Prime Meridian, Lincoln County, Nebraska, into the corporate limits of the city of North Platte.
Okay, and you should have all received a copy of the review comments. Attached to that is a location map, and then attached to the back of that is the subdivision, which is Lakeview Country Estates Second Subdivision. This annexation includes this recently subdivided property, described as Lot 1, Lakeview Country Estates Second Subdivision. It is the policy of the city of North Platte, when a subdivision occurs abutting the city of North Platte's corporate limits, that the subdivision will be annexed into the city limits. The property owner is aware of the requirement and will not be protesting the annexation. Planning staff has no objections to the proposed annexation. The annexation meets the requirements in Nebraska state statute and will be a benefit to the city of North Platte's future growth and development. Water and sewer services to the area currently exist, and property within city limits have easier access to different types of funding opportunities, making annexation in this area a win for future development. I do have a proposed motion, or you can choose to make your own, and remember it is a public hearing, so you have to close that first.
Okay. Seeing what? Seeing no public comment, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, clicker vote. All right, public hearing is now closed. Discussion amongst our board.
I don't see any problem with it.
Mr. Chair, I move to make a recommendation to annex Lot 1 Lakeview Country Estates Second Subdivision, Lincoln County, Nebraska, into the corporate limits of the city of North Platte.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Clicker vote.
I'm slow tonight, sorry.
All right, that motion passes.
And this will be on the city council's agenda for November 1st.
All right, moving along to number 5 on the agenda. Discussion of zoning map and zoning amendments. Please see the attached draft of proposed zoning amendments for a special events district and a mixed-use district. This meeting will have open discussion and clarification. No formal action will be taken.
Okay, so you should have all just got a copy of kind of what I have gotten drafted for those two separate zoning districts. These would be, remember back when we were talking about redoing some of the residential, we got that all done, got that passed, so now we're moving on to commercial, industrial, agricultural. While going through that process, these are two districts that would be proposed to be new. They don't currently exist. The S1 district is what I have thought about doing for areas like Nebraska Land Days, their event area, for museums, the museum, the Lincoln County Fairgrounds. So those areas, to just kind of give you a little bit of background, those areas are now currently zoned A1, which is ag. Anytime they do a building out there, they have to come in, get a conditional use, because in an ag district, a special events building is not an allowed use unless you do it under conditional use. So what I am proposing to Planning Commission is to create a new district that allows like a special events district. We can name it something else if you don't like that, you know, I'm not gonna make me cry, that's fine. It's just something that I just kind of chose, that we would maybe write down some criteria of what would be allowed in those districts, what would not be allowed, if there's setback regulations, what those would look like. And maybe there's other areas that I'm not thinking of that would fit into that situation. I know one time somebody had said, well, what about these special events like the D&N Event Center? I don't see that that one would really fit because that's in a commercial area already. You know, it's not really different, it's a business. But Nebraska Land Days is more of a community event type thing. The museum's more of a community, you know, type thing, and the fairgrounds would fall into that. But it's just out there for thoughts. If you guys like it, we'll move forward with something like that. If you don't like it, or if you think there needs to be changes in those, I mean, it's very simple regulations that we wrote just to kind of make it easier for them to do something, makes it easier on us because we don't have to see those conditional uses every time they try to build a new building or build a ticket booth or whatever it is that they're building.
Is this something that other communities in the state do, Judy?
Yes, they're a little bit kind of similar to what I mean, I didn't come up with this all on my own, trust me, plagiarism is the best. So yeah, other communities do some things that are similar, depending on what they're doing. And some of them just allow it by right in an ag district. I have a hard time doing that because we have so many areas outside the city limits that are in our 2 mile that are designated as ag. So I had a really hard time just saying, let's just allow this in ag. So I think we need to have a little bit of control over what it does, but.
I agree, I think this is great.
I think it looks good too. As far as vacant lands, are we thinking of applying this as things grow and expand? And not just putting it on any other areas?
Yeah, we could, I mean, and we can definitely, if somebody has an agricultural property or even a commercial property that they think would better fit this, they could request a rezoning to turn it to something in particular.
Realistically, it's mainly, you're thinking rezoning the areas that are already existing that apply,
Yes.
like the fairgrounds.
Yes.
And not sticking it somewhere?
Not without somebody
That's what I
wanting
was
that.
thinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, realistically, I would just put it on what's existing.
Because I know one thing that's gaining popularity is out in the rural area, maybe an event center, where they're hosting different events, or, I think of like the pumpkin patch or some wedding venues, so this would not apply, or would they have an opportunity to use this?
They can always have an opportunity to come in and request that their
Okay.
property be rezoned to this district. Now, whether, you approve that or not at the time, but yes, they
Okay.
would have the opportunity to say, hey, I think we fit this special events district better than what we do in ag district, and they
Okay.
can always come in and do that.
Okay.
Had enough discussion on that one, or do
Yeah.
we? Okay. This mixed-use district, so this one kind of came about, a little bit because of some things that are occurring, and specifically in my mind on, Front Street. We have, if you go along Front Street and you're thinking about driving along Front Street, we have a lot of, here's a residential house, then here's an electric contractor's office, here's a residential house, here's, some other more.
HVAC technician.
HVAC place, here's a contractor's office,
Yeah.
things like that. So what we've been doing for the past, I don't know how many years, we've been rezoning them to industrial. Now, some of the smaller lots, rezoning them to industrial doesn't give me a huge heartburn because of the size of the lot. I mean, they're residential sized lots, so the most you can honestly put on there would be a contractor's office. You couldn't do a large manufacturing. Now, this one kind of was brought forward a little bit with the last rezoning that we did, right there along Front Street, that people kind of had a little bit of heartache over rezoning that to industrial because of the size of the lot, in my opinion. I mean, they may have had other reasons. But you look at a 4-acre lot that we were proposing to, in a residential area that we were proposing to change to industrial. You look at what our industrial zoning shows, I mean, there's a lot of things that you could have put on that lot that
Yeah.
may not have been conducive to that residential area. So, by doing this mixed-use district, what my thought is especially right along Front Street, you see a lot of that turning to more of a commercial use, but you don't necessarily want it to be wide open to industrial. So with this, the way that I've went through and did these mixed-use regulations, is it requires what they call a site plan development, which is on that page 2. To where if they wanted to put something in there other than residential, so residential in this mixed-use district, if we do go in and rezone a strip along Front Street, residential would be permitted. So, anything residential, so if you did a single-family home, a duplex, they could just do that. They could come in and get a permit no matter what. But if they wanted to do something that was different than, just a residential, so say they wanted to put, I don't know, mini warehouse storage facility, they would have to produce this site plan development that would come to you guys and to city council for approval. So take, for example, this mini warehouse facility that they're looking at over there. They would have to say, hey, we're in this mixed-use district, we want to do this development, and they would have to submit these plans that not only I would review and the building inspector would review, but you guys would have an opportunity to say, okay, that's fine. You have to meet all these regulations, plus this site plan, you're gonna show us, what your landscaping's gonna look like. You're gonna show us how you're gonna fit into this area that's kind of more residential to give us a better feel about what's going on. Because more than likely, you're not gonna want to allow a big, hard manufacturing company right next door to somebody's house. And you're gonna have the opportunity to say, you know what, that doesn't really fit, even though it's mixed use. We wanna tone that down a little bit, or it gives you, it just to me felt like it was a little bit more than a conditional use. And it was a little bit more than, just allowing a rezoning that opens it up.
I noticed the city council changed our decision on that and went with B1 or something, B2, and then they have to,
And a conditional use.
right.
yes.
So I like this because that was, even though I voted for it, I did have some reluctance because of the fact that we couldn't control really what went in there. Knowing what was going in there helped me, get past that hurdle, but I was still in the back of my mind thinking, what if that doesn't go through? And then it would be open to gosh knows what. So this, to me, would satisfy a scenario like that, so I do like that.
I think it's great.
And there may be more areas that, you know, but that's the area that I was kind of thinking about this, but there may be more areas when we go through to do the rezoning that would maybe
Right.
fit.
Cause
this
they're
type of
out there.
zoning. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's,
There's some also like right along Rodeo Road that are kind of in a similar
East
situation.
Fifth, East Sixth.
Eugene, don't they have some kind of, where there's some businesses plus, or is it Walker,
A little
maybe?
bit.
Yeah,
They're, yeah,
in
close
between Eugene and
to
Walker.
town.
any more discussion on this one?
Are you looking for motions or?
No,
Nope.
we're not gonna take any motions, just
Okay.
kind of
Oh,
looking
that's
for
right.
direction.
He
So
said
I
no
thought
action.
Yep.
if I was on the right track, I'd keep kind of forging forward and
We like it.
you like it.
It's
Okay,
great,
perfect,
Judy.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we like
Thank
it.
you.
We would expect nothing else.
We like them both. All right, moving on then. Old business, there's no old business. New business, any new business, Judy?
No, just we are now going to have a city attorney here off and on. He didn't say he was gonna be at every meeting, but, he'll definitely be at the controversial ones and, you know, if he doesn't have anything better to do, he'll be here.
Most of the time, they're pretty exciting.
You'll know what you're in for if I show up.
So if you show up, run, right?
Welcome, Mr. Turshinsky.
Do you know everybody? I'm Jeff Bain.
My office is just down the hall from Judy, if you guys ever want to catch me in the mornings with questions.
Okay. All right, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Mr. Weber, you're pretty quick there.
We have to take-
taking it all in, so.
Oh, we do? Oh, you can see I pay attention. All right, we are adjourned.
We need to document Don's speed somehow, though.
Awesome.
Good work, Mr. Jet.
Well, that was nice and easy.